Hi guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's very exciting video. Today I'm going to be answering all your questions about our very big news. We are moving to Slovakia. It's very exciting, it's very big. This has been like in the pipeline for quite a few months now, and we announced this on Instagram last week and a lot of you got in touch with some questions, and today I'm kind of going to walk you through all the process so far and answer all the questions that you have sent in. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Chrissy. I'm a mom to an almost 2-year-old, and together with my husband Chris, Ben, my son, and our dog Billie, we are going to be moving to Slovakia. I'm very excited to be sharing this journey with you and to show you, everything that happens as we go along. There's a lot that we need to do, but yeah, it's very exciting and really, really cool. It's a bit breezy here, so I hope that the microphone doesn't flip out. But before I get into answering your questions, I thought I'd give you a little bit of a breakdown of how this all went about. So, Chris and I have actually been talking about leaving Malta for a while, probably from before we got married. We've been married for almost 4 years now. And it was always kind of like, oh, what if we did? But, we never actually effectively looked into it so much. It was always kind of like, oh, because with our apartment and with the dog, and then when we had Ben, it was always like there was always a reason to not do it. And back in October 2022, Chris gets a call from an ex-boss, basically, who works at a different company, asking him if he would be interested in working abroad. The first offer was somewhere in America, to be honest, and when he told me, I was like, no. Nothing against America, but we don't want to be so far from home, number one, and number two, I'm not too crazy about the lifestyle. So we had a good chat about it, and we were like, somewhere in the EU, somewhere close to home, similar or same time zone, where we're not too far away. Obviously we've got our family and everything is based here in Malta, so we didn't want to go too far away. And so he bounced back with, thanks but no thanks, but if you have anything available in the European Union, we would be kind of interested in talking about that. And immediately this boss got back to him with, I've got a position in Slovakia that would be great for you. And our first reaction was, the hell is Slovakia? Like, we know it exists, but we didn't know the first thing about it. I was like, they take part in the Eurovision. Like, I know that they used to be connected to Czech Republic, but they're not anymore. Like, I had zero knowledge about Slovakia other than the fact that it existed and it was in the EU. And so we got to doing our research, and we did hours and hours and hours of research. We got in touch with some people that we know who have been to Slovakia, other people that we know from Slovakia, and slowly we started warming up to the idea. One of the biggest question marks was the language, especially, for Ben and for work and everything. And we kind of found out that most people under the age of like 40-ish would speak at least basic English. So anyway, we did lots of research. We, kind of contacted them back and forth about the salary and the package and all the usual stuff that goes on when you're starting a new job, but obviously on a much grander scale, because this was changing country, starting, uprooting and starting our lives somewhere completely new. So there was a lot of research, a lot of talking, a lot of late nights, discussing, and it's all been very emotional, very stressful, but in like a good way. And anyway, so yeah, then we went up in January. That was our test run. And when we went up, Chris went to visit the workplace. We got to get a good idea of the area that we'd be in, and the town is called Nitra. We really liked the area. We went to visit some school options that we had, found, and we wanted to send Ben to an international school, so obviously we will have to pay, but we didn't want to send him to a Slovak school. So we found 2 options and we went to see them, and then we chose our preferred option. And then everything started kind of falling into place. We could have moved sooner, to be honest. We kind of discussed that by now. Had I not been taking part in Chicago the musical, we would have already left. But I have a main role. I am playing the part of Roxy in Chicago, and you guys, whoever's in Malta, should definitely come to watch it. It's in July, the last weekend of July. I'll post a link in the description so you can get your tickets there. And yeah, so we had kind of told them, like, listen, we really want to come, but we have commitments up until the end of July, so we can't come before that. So there's so much to say. I'm trying to really keep it like to a minimum. They had agreed, and so we were going to move later on, like in September, but then the boss guy spoke to Chris a few months ago and he was like, listen, I need you sooner. What are we gonna do? And crazily enough, we figured out a plan where Chris is basically going to be going and coming, you know, a couple of weeks at a time. And basically every time he goes up, we're gonna send things up with him. We've got suitcases packed with like winter clothes and toys and things that we don't need now, so that we can start sending things up, because we rented the apartment out straight away. Billie, come here. Come. Obviously when this happened, we immediately said, like, okay, you know, for him to book a hotel room every time doesn't make sense, or an Airbnb. So we said, let's sort out the apartment straight away. Hi Billie, come. Do you want to say hi? Here's Billie, our little fluffster, who will be joining us. Yeah. And that's one of the questions, actually, so yeah, I'll get to that soon. But yeah, long story short, we got an apartment. We did that all digitally. We found an agent who was really helpful. He sent us a video tour. The contract was all translated and sent digitally, and everything kind of just fell into place. And then when Chris went up for the first time to start work, we decided that after his first week, Ben and I will also go up to visit and check the place out, kind of start, you know, seeing how to settle in and sort of know what we're going to be going to. And that is where we are now. We're now back in Malta. We came back a few days ago. I've had a really exciting response from you guys and lots of cool questions. So without further ado, I'm going to start answering those for you now. So one of the most common questions that we got was, why Slovakia? And I already kind of answered that. Basically, Slovakia chose us. We didn't choose Slovakia. I think that if we had to start this process from our own initiative, we would have never even considered it. I don't think we would have even looked at it as an option. So we do feel like it called us, and we actually fell in love with it. It's really beautiful. I mean, we've only been to Nitra, which is the area we're going to be living in, and we love it. We're very excited about it. We were very pleasantly surprised. So yes, that is why we chose, or we are moving to Slovakia. Slovakia chose us. Another question that we got a lot was why we took the decision to leave. And apart from the fact that we've been speaking about the idea of leaving for so long, there were also two other things. First of all, the timing of everything just worked. I'm self-employed, I work digitally, so I spoke to my clients and they're happy to keep me on, you know, and I'll just keep on doing my work over there. We're not pregnant, we're not planning another baby right now because of Chicago. I can't afford to get pregnant right now. You know, and everything just kind of seemed like the stars aligned. And also, this opportunity was handed to us. There was no applying, there was no going for interviews. It was literally like, here is an opportunity, take it or leave it. And we knew that we would have been so stupid to not accept this opportunity. It's something that we've both wanted. We're really excited about it. So was it an easy decision? No. But at the same time, it was a no-brainer. Like, we knew it was going to be hard, but we knew that it was very probably the right decision to make. And the way that we looked at it is, it's better that we try, and then if it doesn't work out for whatever reason, we, you know, would know, rather than we decline and spend the rest of our lives wondering what if, and probably kicking ourselves for not trying. Another question that we got asked a lot is if we'll be taking Billie with us. Of course we're taking Billie with us. Billie is part of the family. You know, a dog is a lifetime commitment, and we are nervous about it, mostly about the transportation. We did a lot of research. We contacted a lot of different people to see how we can best go about it. We are in the process of getting his passport sorted. We've spoken to our vet. There's a lot to do, quite a bit of money to be spent, but we've got his crate and he loves it, so at least he feels comfortable in that. We won't be taking him on the plane with us, just because he is a very anxious dog, and we just don't think that it would be the right setting for him. So basically the way that we figured it out is Chris is going to go up with Billie through Vienna, and then he's going to drive to Nitra, and then Ben and I will go up like the day or 2 days after. and we'll all meet as a happy family to start our new lives there. We also got a few questions about feeling anxious about the location of where Slovakia is. We got some, like there were some comments saying Eastern Europe. It isn't Eastern Europe, it's quite central. The area that we're in, it's on the west side, so we're not close to Ukraine. We shouldn't be affected by the war. Obviously, that was another thing that we looked into at the very beginning, because we were like, but it's a very safe area. Culturally, there are differences like there would be in any country at all, but we're not too concerned about that, and it seems like it's going to be quite an easy shift into that lifestyle. Another good question that I got asked is how we feel about Ben, and if we're nervous about him, adapting and, having his new life there. Yes, we are nervous. We're very nervous, obviously, but at the same time, he's young, and the younger a child is, the easier they adapt. He also isn't settled at school. He doesn't have close friends who he's going to miss dearly, Like, it's obviously there's family here, but we do video calls with family regularly anyway. So, and I'll go into that in another question. But yeah, we're not too worried, and something that really put our mind at rest was when we went up last week. He loved it. He absolutely loved it. We loved it back in January, and we'd gone intentionally in January because it's like the coldest and most dull time of year. And then when we went up, in May, and it's all green and it was nice and warm and sunny, he loved it. He loved the apartment. He just absolutely fell in love with it. And seeing him so happy made us feel even more sure about our decision. Going back to what I mentioned before, another question that I got quite a bit was how we feel about leaving family behind. This is obviously a difficult thing. From my end, 3 of my siblings live abroad. So our family is very used to being all over the place, and they all live in different countries. So now we're 5 kids, and now there's just 2 of us living in Malta at the moment, but obviously we're leaving, so there's just going to be 1 left. And it's a matter of time until he leaves, probably. But anyway, so we're kind of used to that, and we're used to doing a lot of digital connection, and we're very close despite of all being so far away from each other physically. So we weren't really worried about that. Obviously, I did feel for my parents, because my parents are here, and we always thought that, like my family, we always thought that I'd be the one who stays. And I also felt a bit of a responsibility that I'd be the one who's here for my parents if they ever need. Obviously, they're no spring chickens, that's what I tell them. So, knowing that obviously there will be an extra barrier is hard. But when I told my parents about this, my dad told me 3 words, and they were the best 3 words he could have told me. He said, "It's your life." And we've talked about it, and yes, it's going to be hard. Ben loves his grandparents. He's very close to them. They obviously really don't want him to go. They're sad that we're leaving, but they're mostly sad about Ben, let's face it. We just kind of decided, like, we can't put our lives on hold for other people, because eventually, it doesn't feel like it's fair on us to do that. And it's not a selfish thing. This is, we feel like it's the best choice for our family, and we'll make it work. And thank God we live in an age where you can connect so easily digitally with people. So really and truly, we prioritize to come down regularly when it's possible, and we'll just find a way to make it work. Absence makes the heart grow fonder, so we'll just go with that. I did get asked about what the hardest thing about leaving is, and there's 3 main points. There's a lot to let go of. One of the things that makes it hard is family, obviously, but I would say that least, just because the technology makes the distance less, real. 2 other things, and one I'm slightly less worried about now, and I'll explain why. One of them is our apartment, our home, our current routine. It's hard to let go of things, and our current apartment, our home, it's where we have so many memories. We moved in when we got married, so our whole married life has been here. This is the home where Ben took his first steps. This is the home where Chris proposed, because he proposed, you know, we were in the process of buying the place. This is, you know, the home where we have just so many beautiful memories, where we had Ben's first birthday here. All his firsts happened here, and you know, it's very bittersweet. And as we've been packing things up and I'm going through memories and photos, I'm just like, I get really emotional. But having said that, once we saw the apartment that we're renting in Nitra, it feels like a much easier transition. We did choose a place that's similar to here. It's modern, it's fresh, it's air, like it's really nicely lit, and it's really beautiful, and so that helps to make it less hard to leave. And then the third thing, and this one I think is the one that stings the most at the moment, it's that we have to let go ish of music and theatre. Theatre has always been a very big part of my life. Music is important to both Chris and I. We met through a musical, you know, we met through music. Chris was in a band, he had to step back. I was in a band, I had to step back. I have this, you know, the musical Chicago, and there's so many other musicals coming out now, and I'm just like, I really want to audition, but I can't because I won't be here. My dreams, my biggest dreams in life were always to be a mom, have a family, or to be on the West End. And I know that sounds like really drastic, but I also knew that I had to kind of choose. I couldn't really make both happen. And being able to live my dream mom life here while also doing theatre on the side was a really good balance for me. So now having to let go of theatre is very, very, very difficult. But I am going to try to push myself to at least keep, you know, making some music and sharing some, you know, singing videos or whatever. Just to kind of push myself to keep at it somehow in the minimal way that I can. And I mean, you can't say never, so I don't know what opportunities may or may not arise, but that has been one of the hardest things about leaving, and the fact that I'm leaving just, you know, really soon after Chicago. It's like, at least I'm ending it with a bang kind of thing. So it's bittersweet, it's very bittersweet, but I think that's one of the hardest things to let go of from my perspective. I have a lot of questions, guys. I'm really trying not to talk too much, but there's so much to say. We did get asked if we have a safety net to fall back on. That's a very good question. To be honest, at the beginning we were very much like, oh, because if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't work out, if it doesn't work out. Having backup plans, plan A, B and C. Eventually we realized like we need to get rid of the mentality of what if it doesn't work out, and go with the mentality of we're gonna make it work out. But just in case, for whatever reason, it really doesn't work out, our biggest safety net is obviously Malta. We are not going to sell our home. Eventually we'll rent it out, but not for the first, you know, year or so, just so that even when we do come back to visit, we'll be able to stay here. But yeah, we're trying to not have the mentality of what if it doesn't work out, because I think that kind of makes it seem more temporary, which isn't actually good, because everything's just, it feels all up in the air. You're in a bit of a limbo. So we just decided to sort of think of it like, okay, this is happening, this is going to be our new life. We can't plan 10 years ahead. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to go and say, how are we going to make this work? And hopefully we will. I did get asked quite a bit, and I often get asked what I do in terms of income. So I've been asked if I'm going to find a job there. As I mentioned earlier, I am self-employed. I have my own clients, and they've been really great in this. They're all, you know, just keeping me on and really supportive of this move. And, you know, obviously there's going to be a couple of weeks where it's going to be quite hectic, and they're all extremely supportive. I'm very grateful for the clients that I have. So yeah, my job is not going to change. My income shouldn't change. I do social media and content writing and voiceover work. I will be taking my mini voice studio with me. There's not much. It's my microphone and some cushions that I use. If you've seen my stories, I post about this sometimes. So yeah, I will continue doing that when I'm there as well. Another question that I got asked, which is a good one, is what are our biggest fears and how are we going to tackle them, kind of thing. We have a lot of fears, to be honest. I don't think I can list all of them. I think the biggest concern that we do have is the language barrier and our best way to tackle it is to learn the language. We've already started and we'll be doing a course, like a physical course there as well, to learn it a bit more efficiently, because there's, you know, so much that you can learn through an app. It's a big change, it's a scary change, you know, we're just trying to keep the most positive mentality going into this, because otherwise it would really break us down. So we're currently both in a very good place. We're excited, and yeah, we're looking forward to whatever is going to come out of this. However, you know, things are going to go, we're really looking forward to it. And to close the video off, the last question that I'm going to tackle is, do you have any tips? Quite a few people have asked me if I have any tips for moving and all of this stuff, and I don't yet, because we haven't moved, we're still in the process. So I will be able to share that as we go along, and I will keep you, like, I will bring you on this journey with me. I'll show you as much behind the scenes stuff as I possibly can. If you do have any more questions, obviously do let me know, or if there's anything that you'd specifically like to see in relation to our move and this transition. Billie, come here, come. But I think the biggest and best advice that I can give, which we have received a lot of, is if you want to do it, just do it. It's scary, it's really scary, and it can be stressful, and you know, there's a lot to do and a lot to think about, and you know, there's a lot to let go of, absolutely. But also, if you want to leave, if your heart is telling you to go somewhere, just spread your wings and fly, as cheesy as that sounds. So yeah, we haven't officially moved, but I am really looking forward to it. Thank you so much for all the support and encouragement that you've given us so far. Thank you for all the questions you've sent in. I've really enjoyed, you know, thinking about these things and answering them. I know I've been talking for a very long time. I just wanted to kind of give you the most detailed responses I could in the least time possible. I'm not very good at summarizing. When I talk, I just start and I don't stop. But thank you so much for watching. If you have any more questions, or if there's anything that you'd like to know about this move, about the transition, about anything at all related to all of this, do definitely let me know. You can contact me on Facebook or Instagram, or just post them in the comment section below, and I will do my best to get back to you. And thanks again so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video. Until next time, bye.